one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, it's us again, Tyler and Frank. We're here to talk about astronomy. Not astrology. We're not going to mix that up. Like some people get misconceptionalized. So, astronomy. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start on Earth? Do we want to do the solar system? Do we just start in the galaxy, or do we just start as the universe as a whole? You know, really blow our minds.
We just start.
Because the universe is huge.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of places we can start. We can also start with where the names of the planets came from. That's also a really fascinating topic as well.
Galaxy.
Galaxy? Okay. Which one? Andromeda or Milky Way? Because both of those are technically like right there.
I don't know a lot
And which one's your favorite?
I don't know a lot about astronomy. I like Milky Way only because it just sounds
Because
like
of the candy.
Which I was a big fan of. A fat kid is what it was.
You know what? When I just had a Milky Way this week for the first time in
yeah. Was this a segue?
many years.
Was this a segue?
And I was not impressed.
Was this a
No, I was not impressed. It ain't no segue to nothing. It's no gateway drug for me. It was a gateway back to like the greens, broccoli, spinach.
So
oh, this is way too sweet. I need something earthy.
So why didn't you like it?
Yeah. Why didn't I like it? It was just too sweet. It was too chewy. I'm not a milk chocolate fan as it is.
Yeah.
So I hope that's not what the Milky Way tastes like, because if it is, I want out.
I already like that candy bar because I believe it was made for people who didn't like peanuts in their candy. And then Three Musketeers.
Me.
Yeah, when I was a little kid.
I'd never eaten Three Musketeers.
I'm gonna ship you one. I'm gonna ship you a whole case, like I did.
I could just honestly go to the store and buy one. Save yourself the shipping fee.
No, we got like candy stores down here that sell bars this big for whatever reason. It just send you like a 10-pound.
And why would I eat that?
People here, there's a lot of elders here, and they eat a lot of candy, man. They eat a lot of candy. So sweets are everywhere here. If you're a sweets person. So
interesting
topic. But go ahead and start it off. I don't know too much about astronomy.
Okay. Oh, well, you're gonna. I know a lot about astronomy. I actually took an astronomy course in college in the 1 year that I went. So I already knew this before the astronomy class, but the names of the planets, almost all of them, no, I think all of them come from like Greek and Roman god names. So I think Mercury is the Roman version of Hermes, and that's the god of messengers. Then you have Venus, which is the Roman goddess of love and beauty, which was Aphrodite. Everybody knows Aphrodite. So Venus is super hot. So, perfect, Venus, love and beauty, like super hot. Then you have Mars, the god of war, which is Ares in Greek mythology. Then you have Jupiter, which is Zeus in Greek mythology, gods of the sky. And then you've got Saturn, which is Zeus's daddy, Kronos.
You say it like that.
Yeah, daddy. And then Uranus is Cronus' daddy, who bangs Gaia, which is Mother Earth, and created all that other hoopla that we now have. So that's Uranus. He's the god of the sky, like the really ancient god of the sky. And then Uranus. Neptune is the Roman god of the sea, which is Poseidon in Greek mythology, which is also the god of seas and storms and earthquakes. And then you have Pluto, because hashtag Pluto is a planet, even though technically it's not. And that was the Roman version of Hades, who is the god of the underworld. So we learned something new today.
Right on.
Hell yeah. I love mythology. I love lore. So obviously I'm going to learn about that stuff.
It definitely sounds like it.
Obviously. And then, I don't know if you knew this, but, a couple of, billions of years from now, the sun is going to, explode into a red giant. And it's going to consume all 3 of the inner planets. Or maybe 4, depending. So Earth, way, way in the future, she's going to get consumed. She's going to go, gone. Out of existence.
Where are you gonna be?
Hopefully cheering it on, finally get away with it. Currently where we're at, just do it now.
Yeah. Is it rain? Is it snow?
So,
Just random. Is it snowing where you at?
it snowed the other day,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it melted.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I got really wet. My feet were really wet, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So, here's another fun fact about astronomy. The
Okay.
sun's atmosphere, which is the corona, pretty
Okay.
sure, is much hotter than the surface of the sun.
Mm.
Isn't that
Okay.
fun?
Yeah.
It's so fun. I love astronomy.
That's funny. It definitely
Then
sounds
Mercury is one of the smaller. So it's the smallest inner planet after Mercury. So Mercury is the smallest and it's the closest to the sun. And despite it being so close to the sun, the side that's facing the sun is always super hot, but then the other side is deathly cold. So it's not hot all around. And then Mars, everybody's like, ooh, we need to terraform Mars. We need to terraform Mars. Mars is the next best thing. And I'm thinking, really not, because Mars is so small. It doesn't have a gravitational pull strong enough to hold down the air molecules. Plus, on top of it, it doesn't have the magnetic field like Earth does. So the solar winds just ripped what it's got away. Just so basically, you're just going to be on a radiation planet of red, constantly getting hit by cosmic rays and starving of oxygen. Whereas, Venus is just super hot and the air is going to crush you. So, yeah, it's super fun. I love astronomy. Ask me anything and I'll tell you what I can.
You sound like one of the voiceovers of a documentary. It's going to be made about astronomy.
Oh, like Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
I think he does a couple of documentaries. But what you want me to just be like, no. And if you look over there, you'll see the Andromeda Galaxy getting farther away. The reason for this is
You gotta do it. You gotta do it in all of your sassiness, though.
So girl, you see that galaxy over there? That's the Andromeda, and we're totally getting out of here, so it's moving further away.
Yep.
Better?
All of it.
I would actually probably watch a 30-minute documentary with that kind of a voice. I think that'd be really funny. Just sass.
Yeah.
And stupid. So yeah, I think that could be fun. If somebody wants to pay me to do a voice for anything or episode or for a
my question
documentary, let me know. Hit me up.
I guess my question with astronomy is how come it's not talked about as much as it was when we were in elementary school? You know what I'm saying? It was there was no there. I mean, there were even
That's a conspiracy for me.
Yeah.
That's a conspiracy for me, in all honesty.
Why,
I think they're my conspiracy theory is that they're trying to keep us from thinking about that because it's keeping the problems all the time, always keeping your problems around you. So if we expand into space, so many problems are going to get solved, and they don't want that. They just want more control. So they're trying to distract us. Ooh, these people are bad. We might need to go to war with them. Ooh, look at the newest, greatest thing. Ooh, put this out on social media, cause up a stir. But like, don't look at the stars at all. No, that's my conspiracy theory. Is that like they don't? It's not talked about because they don't want us talking about it. They don't want us dreaming and hoping.
Right on.
Because the space frontier could be a uniter for humanity. You know, being like, okay, we all just come together because we just want to expand.
Yeah.
So.
See
you
it.
know.
I can see it.
I don't trust these people.
So, do you think anything is like lurking in space? I don't know if you heard, but there's a couple stuck in space. There's a married couple. They're stuck in space all the way into the spring of next year.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, but it's still a travel like to get them back. They've been stuck since June of this year, I believe.
They'll be fine.
And I'm just like,
I believe in them. And I believe in their perseverance as a couple.
But I mean, well, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a dangerous like mission because they were supposed to be back in August. And it's like, how much time it would take for them to get back now that they're stuck, it's going to be next year, which is just like a scary situation. When you kind of think about like, I guess people who are afraid to leave their block. You know what I mean? Like, or go downtown. It's like, there's people who are light years away who, could not just go back home if they wanted to. It's like, atmosphere.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Gases, you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. If you go into space, you have money, and if you have money and you get trapped into space, it's kind of like kind of your own fault, isn't it?
You said
millionaire. Like, I would say the same to myself. Like,
you said it's millionaire problem.
It's like, oh damn, I got myself into this predicament. Well, guess I have to survive in it or die in it.
Yeah.
And honestly, to die in space, how many people can say that? Like, oh yeah, I died in space.
I mean, I don't think
like bragging rights in the afterlife. You have to think about that.
It's like, I don't think a lot of people want to.
I mean, nobody wants to die, Frank. But
I'm saying like the suffocation.
It'll be fine. It'll be quick.
You turn around and you look at your space buddy. He's like shriveled up, and you telling him, like,
I'll be like, oh,
yeah, like
I'll take their oxygen tank. I'll be like, guess you're not needing that anymore.
You would. You out of all people that would. You literally would. You're like, you should never.
Well, and then Houston's got a problem with it. I'll be like, what? They're not using it. That's just a waste of air.
You sound like those I don't know. There was this really good movie, man, about these guys that was in a plane crash, and it was actually it's true. It happened just like the movie got it to happen, just like the real event, but they got stuck on an island and they had to eat the other passengers. But before the other passengers died,
oh yeah,
they got permission. And to this very day, those people who are still alive get ridiculed for eating their passenger buddies who got permission from them,
Yeah.
And we're just like,
I mean, they had to do that in wasn't that like that was in the mountains, right?
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was on an abandoned island too. But
it was.
Yeah, because there was also a plane crash that happened like in the mountains. I thought, and to survive, they like ate the dead. Same with like the Oregon Trail, like the crossed over like early American history where they were crossing over from the east to the west, and the Oregon Trail. Sometimes they would eat the dead because they have no other food.
I mean,
so things happen. But honestly, what a way to go if you have to die in space. I'm just saying.
What do you think about
like bragging rights in the afterlife? That's all I care about.
I can see you just like, I don't know, you're doing story time with them. and it's just like everybody who passed away in like history, and
No, I would be that one ghost that everybody goes like, oh, when I walk into the room, because I always have to find some way of being like, oh yeah, you died drowning in the pool. Oh, God, yeah, I remember when I died in space. Like
just
always finding some way to be like, yeah, just finding some way to bring it up, and they're just like, okay, we get it. You died in space.
this is.
So yeah, that would be me.
Do you think anybody tried to touch the stars?
In what
Like,
way? In what way?
like are the stars touchable in
I
space,
mean, technically yes, but like only for a moment.
or is it just gas of just like illusions from our eyes?
No, I think there are really stars, and those stars do have planets around them, and I think you can touch them, but it will not be fast. It won't be long, but it'll be
Okay.
very fast because you're gonna burn. Because it's
Oh, okay.
like, well, it's also because stars are plasma, right? They're just a plasma, so basically, just lightning is plasma, which is just a weird form of matter,
Mhm.
and stars are just giant balls of plasma. And if you were to fall into it, I wonder, is that kind of like water? Like water technically isn't wet. It just we
Yeah,
feel like it's wet,
yeah, yeah.
So it's like, is plasma really liquidy, or do we just think it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about.
Well, that's the same concept of lightness and darkness. They said is our eyes just commute compute darkness, but it's really light outside, and when it's light, our eyes compute lightness, but it's really dark.
Maybe, yeah. You can see
Which
that.
goes in a
I
different
see what you're trying to say.
which goes down a different
Well, I
rabbit
mean,
hole.
it's kind of like,
Are we wasting
I mean,
our
like there are animals who can see ultraviolet light,
yeah,
So if you were to put certain shells under UV light, they'll light up really iridescent and beautiful. But we can't see that with our naked eyes. So like that's a whole new world to open up as well. So if we could see ultraviolet light, what would the world look like?
yeah, which
Yeah.
is on a different level to are we wasting our time buying light bulbs? Because we're buying we buy
I don't know. Like when I slam my shin into a table in the middle of the night, sometimes I wish that I had a light bulb.
because
So I don't think they're a great waste of time.
you do know some cultures are actually against um light infused objects that are not natural. Like,
Okay,
you
well
know,
that's on them, not me.
you say you're gonna
I'm
need
not one of them.
you say you're gonna
I
need
don't need
more than
no torch. I ain't in the medieval ages. I know what century I'm in.
you say you're gonna need more than a lantern, huh?
Oh, dead ass, I will.
Lanterns are fire.
Like, I ain't gonna have that.
Lanterns are fire.
Mm-mm.
No pun intended. Like lanterns are pretty dope.
Mm-mm. They're cool, but they don't give me that much light, and
They
they set off a lot of house fires. So I'm good. I'll stick with my LED light bulb. I get raves out of that. I get to see my surroundings because of that.
I was
I
just gonna
can
say
have
it makes you
the galaxy lights in the shower while I'm trying to like bathe on the
yeah.
ceiling. Like that's cool. I
I,
don't
was-
have that if I only have a campfire.
I was just gonna say it kind of makes you a target because if you carry like a lantern, you can't see like farther than what 2 or 3 feet, 2 to 3 inches ahead
Don't
of
get me
you.
started on that horror scene.
Anybody
My
could be
God.
like right there behind you, freaking Jason Voorhees, but out before the mask.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the
No,
knapsack.
that's exactly why I think I have like some sort of uh irrational fear when I'm holding a flashlight because of scary movies where they always
Yeah,
have like the single beam, and
yeah.
then they're just like and then like you pan over and then you're like, I always think that because you can only see what's in front of that beam.
Yeah.
I don't play that. I don't play that nonsense.
Wait, you don't have a PS5 yet, do you?
Nar, my PS4 is still going strong.
Um, so you know the movie called A Quiet Place?
Ugh, that was so boring.
The video game came out 2 weeks ago, and it's a top seller. And
No, couldn't have seen that
literally,
coming.
if you make any noise, that's the same reaction in the game. I think that's so dope. But essentially, that's
I
kind of
just
like
mute my microphone.
basically. So now it's just
I
gameplay
just
of
played a game last week. It was called Forewarned, which is essentially you're an archaeologist, or you and your friends are a group of archaeologists going into a tomb, but it's like haunted. So you're trying to figure out, okay, what's haunting it? Okay, now we have to figure out how to banish it. And it's the same thing. Your mic is on, and the farther away your friend gets, the quieter they are. The entities can hear you. All of that kind of nonsense. So it's a really fun game. So
yeah.
I'll say that. But at one point, it was attracted to sound, so I just
Okay.
muted my mic while I was dying of laughter, and I was fine.
It's one of those. Yeah, I don't think you can mute your mic in the Quiet Place game because that's the
Oh,
whole
I don't know.
point of the game. But yeah, just in terms of like astronomy though, it's one of those things where it's like there was this movie called Jason X, and the only way
The
they
fuck
were
is
able to
that?
kill Jason X was the space version of Jason. It was what if Jason was space proof. It's a pretty dope concept. I don't. It's You should watch the movie, but it came out in 2002, I think.
I just watched Alien.
It was
It's the same
actually,
thing.
but it got a lot of inspiration from Alien. But the only way they were able
We
to
get
kill
because Alien did it best.
it did. It's a great movie,
Ooh,
but
Alien versus Predator. Have you watched that movie?
yeah, it was
That was
had
pretty good. That was pretty good.
now my favorite one. It was called Predator. They went back in time to like the Indian tribe of when Predator showed up at his early stages. It came out literally 2 years ago, and that movie sold incredibly.
I did kind of have a slight crush on Predator. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger.
Wait, do you know like the principles and things, like their values and things? Do you ever go
What?
into the Predator,
When Predator?
the Predator character and their values, like everything that they?
Yeah. You have to win or die.
I mean,
You win or die.
yeah,
That's
it
it.
goes it goes deeper than that. It's
War
actually
is everything to them.
it is, but they actually get like
Yeah.
they get kicked out of their own culture if they disobey and try to fight like people who are like less powerful than them, and that's what that movie covers. The one I was just telling you about, where they went to Indian tribe.
Well.
It's a pretty cool concept, but
But yeah, so
Jason,
it's an interesting concept to think that those types of beings may exist in the universe.
probably so. I mean, I
I
don't
hope
know.
so.
Imagine like to kill Jason, they had to burn him up in the sun, but somebody had to grab onto him and push him in the sun.
Science.
It was definitely a super heavy science fiction
Was
crossover.
it?
It worked.
Because
It's
like
totally,
fun facts, you don't like fall. You don't fall into an object. You fall like against the object. Like the
that's what it.
gravitational pull is like pulling you in a circle around it, and then if it's intense enough, it'll literally just like rip you apart. It's called spaghettification, and
That's
it'll literally just like rip you apart.
that's what it was. That's the only
Yeah,
way
it's kind of hot.
they had to get him.
No pun intended.
They had to get him. I just got it. They, now I'm about to be thinking about that like all of today. It's just like
Oh, he fell into the sun. Hot.
it's it's
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of questions that I have about like astronomy. You know what I mean?
I love astronomy. It's so math heavy, though. If you wanted to pursue an astronomy degree,
Yeah.
it's like a heavy physics and mathematics degree just because there's so much involved in that. And
The,
nah,
the
no
question
thanks,
the
fam.
question that I have is it does it pay well? Or is it just pure out
Oh
of...
God, no.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, I'm pretty sure you have to just have a love for just space to just be able to get in
The
that position.
the best thing one can hope for if they have an astronomy degree, for like most people, is to become a teacher of some sort, way of fashion. You know, a professor, high school teacher, maybe middle school. You know, that's the best you're probably gonna get. You're not
Is it?
really gonna get into NASA. You're not gonna
Is
get into
no,
anything
telling
engineering wise.
man. Is it?
I'm just
Is
saying, like, if you
it? Is
want to
it?
get into NASA, you're gonna have to do like a lot of military nonsense because it's like super military heavy.
Is there any money even in like being a scientist? Because like
Probably.
Bill Nye, like he didn't start getting money to just like later, like recently, but he always naturally just had a love for science. He just
Yeah.
able to get paid for times 20 now, but it was just his natural love for just science. And that TV show
Yeah.
became like bigger where he got his own followers, like cult followers.
Oh, that's hot. I don't know. All I can say is that they are rich. I'm still poor, and this episode is coming to a close.
Yeah.
So, it's depressing. Yeah, that I don't have that much money, but such is life, such is being.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, you know, all we are is this tiny little speck on this small little rock flying through space in this small little dot in this massive galaxy that's stuck in this expansive universe. You know, like, how big are our problems really? You know, it makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. So I don't know what. I don't know. Did you learn anything from this episode? I hope you learned a thing or two.
I'm about to watch a couple of astronomy documentaries now. Now I'm really curious, and
Do
plus,
it,
where we live at, it's a natural thing where everybody looks at the stars and things. They sell telescopes here. It's a big thing.
which is good.
Yeah,
I would
that's
love to.
like they have parties and stuff like orange it. Like I mean, it's a tradition here.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Go on YouTube, search in astronomy documentaries, and
Mhm.
then find the ones that are the most recent. Anything within 3 years should be fine because
Yeah,
science is evolving all the time.
yeah.
And
You said don't look
you
at
know,
any big thing.
don't be afraid of big words. Don't be
Yeah,
afraid of any big words in like the videos because I know they sound scary, but they're so simplistic. And they mean basically nothing.
yeah. I'm gonna
But
check it out.
yes, thank you everybody for listening to me ramble on and on and on and on about astronomy, the planets, and other knowledge that I have gained over the years
Right
about
on.
something that I will never apply in my actual life. So if you have any astronomy or cosmic knowledge, drop them in the comments so I can read.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn more. So until next time,
Peace.
peace out and look at the stars.